Father was right. You can be trusted. And you are a good friend. Don't get it twisted. I don't do anything out of the goodness of my heart. But when I take a job, I never half-arse it. Okay. I have no idea what's coming next. I was all ready to prove that it was Young. But I guess I'm missing some key evidence. And it's going to be... Oh! It's my best friend. Hi! Good morning, detective. Back at it nice and early. Hi. Now would you stand back? We've almost got this thing open, right? Trying to brute force your way inside? I said, right? Yes, Mom. We're almost set up for the first stage now. First stage of how many? First of 5 timed explosions. Remember, we need to relink the API after each trigger is planted. Yep, just did that, and now it's checking for updates. No rush. Would you like to know the password? You know the password? There's a password? If you're withholding information, I swear. Relax. I want to get in there just as much as you do, Detective. I'm not going to play games. As long as you say please. Tell me the password, please. Ah, oh, Reyes is fantastic. Oh, don't give me this choice, game. Don't give me this choice. I'm going to have to toy with her. It's S-U-N-S H-I-N-E. Lady, I will hit you. A-D-O-N-A-I. Thanks. Now I'm going to slap you with a discovery fine so heavy your teeth will ring for, hey, I submitted all my paperwork, even told Rockford the password myself. So boys, when I asked you if there was a passkey on record and you told me this lock couldn't be bypassed, I do want to say we really don't get many opportunities to use the incendiary breaching system, so this was really a valuable experience for all of us. I'm going to phrase this as professionally as possible. Ooh. Sorry, did I miss something there? Apparently not. What a weird moment. Why did it all go multicoloured? Was that her having a go at them? You're still here. I thought you wanted to look inside. You can go first. Thanks. So the gloves, all the black, that's not a work thing? You dress like a doorman on the weekends too? You should cover your mouth when you yawn. Like you cover your eye when you want to look cool. I shouldn't let her get to me, but I had a late night. Emma and I were at the courthouse until well into the morning, poring over the data Sarah had taken off David's computer. So, that sort of conclusively proves that the camera only seems to have shown... No, because it didn't. It showed the thing as well, so it didn't show her lifting anything up, or how the crack was made. I'm surprised. Poring over the data Sarah had taken off David's computer. We both knew it was all to be inadmissible, of course, but neither of us wanted to miss a hint the other might find. There were a few years' worth of camera footage files we couldn't afford the time to watch, let alone decrypt, alongside thousands of technical documents detailing David's various intellectual properties. As far as I could tell, none of it was relevant, let alone compelling enough to matter to Barrows or the other powers that be. As usual, Emma wasn't exactly an open book, but it did seem like she was making bored yawns, not thoughtful ones. Her eyes only ever lit up when she saw Sarah enter the panic room. Basement footage. Camera. Sarah handing David the red plastic cups that he and Young would drink from. 2 minutes later, or 1 minute later. And when she saw what she was holding when she left. If she wanted this room searched, and it could only be for... So where's this journal supposed to be? Rockford didn't say. I'll just have to search the place top to bottom. Mostly bottom with your height. I'm not saying a word here. Tops of some of these shelves. Sure, and you can look up your own. I get it. I want to let me say it. I enjoy her very much. Like, Sarah is adorable. And I went with Sarah for the channel art for this. Because she's very much a central character. But Reyes may be my favourite. I don't know. It is very much a toss-up between Sarah and Reyes, with Morgan sort of just behind the two of them. Right. Chess. Oh, there was the chessboard. That's another lingering thing I forgot about. That's the entrance. Oh, I see. That's the entrance. Right. Search, computer. All right, let's have a look at the chess. A toy car? No, it's too detailed and boring. Must be some kind of model kit or replica. Strange. David didn't like driving. Why keep a model of some random sports car? Ugh. Something caught in your throat, detective? It's not some random sports car, it's a Lawrence Adamant. Believe it or not, I'm not familiar, detective. The last great fossil fuel automotive experience the world will ever see. 0 to 100 kilometers per hour in 1.43 seconds. They set those records without computational assistance. Is that a big deal? It was unheard of even back in the 50s. This wasn't some design competition test car with a 2-litre tank, mind you. This was a vehicle you could own and drive. Human engineering, pure horsepower and manual transmission, thank God. God, Ranta's going to have a field day. When they first left the production line... This conversation's like quicksand, killing me in the most boring way possible. Yeah, well, I guess David didn't entirely agree with you since we're looking at a model of it. When you could easily have bought one. Or maybe your friend understood that a beauty like that deserves to be driven on streets where people can see it, instead of gathering dust in some rich guy's basement. Think she's actually upset. Is that the... No, we've already had the I've forgotten what it was, the pop star. I was going to say, is that the embarrassing sort of secret we learn about Reyes' interest in this one, but no, we have already had one. The computer or the drawers? Let's go to the computer. Are these drawers or just panels? Maybe if I... Does that sound hollow to you? What? I don't know, I'm not a carpenter. Don't see any handles anywhere. No hidden pressure plates or switches. What the hell am I saying? I'm not a carpenter either. I wouldn't recognise a secret button if it was slathered in yellow paint. Interesting that I got a point for that. Reyes is searching the cabinets now, same ones I found Sarah's papers in. I doubt I missed anything, but... Hey, what are you... Do you mind? She's blushing a bit. Just trying to help. I got spam in my junk folder that's more helpful than you. Didn't spot anything I missed yesterday among the cabinets. Better check elsewhere. What I have to assume there is that Reyes was like leaned over looking in the things and Morgan just stood right up behind her looking over her shoulder. I'm not reading anything into any of this. Why would I do that? What am I missing? Nothing about the chessboard? Oh, gotcha. This datapad is displaying a news article from last week. Guess that confirms he was coming and going here fairly regularly. Right to repair loses latest appeal. Higher court judge shot down for the 5th time an appeal by the Consumer Rights Alliance on their right to repair, signalling the state's intent the corporation remain in control of their legal... What? Once again, signalling the state's intent the corporations remain in control of their legally protected intellectual property. We're disappointed. We have no intention of giving up the fight. People used to be able to fix things when they broke, as long as they were willing to set aside an afternoon. Now trying to patch up your own property as a final... Oh, I see the whole do not tamper. You know, like, if your phone breaks... This is like real life, modern day. If your phone breaks... like, I actually saw this on a phone literally like days ago. If your phone breaks, removing the back casing of any of some phones voids the warranty. So if your phone breaks, you are punished for trying to fix it. I mean, voiding warranty is a bit different because it's like they don't want to be liable for something that you made worse. But at the same time, this is a logical continuation of that. The Emergency Industry Acquisitions Act guarantees the holder of an intellectual property patent certain state-provided protections against tampering and reproduction. Outlines fines. The fact that ownership of the IPs is switched from individuals to and the state towards corporate entities. I'm not sure I fully get the point of this. Right to repair. So I guess it is just saying that people, if something breaks, you're almost legally obliged to replace it rather than repair it, which is just horrendously anti-consumer. Right to repair. Didn't realise anyone was still fighting that particular fight. Seems like the courts have made up their opinion on the matter very clear. So for the foreseeable future, corporations can look forward to more sales than ever, because they have to buy replacements. More sales than ever. Any phone that gets scratched, any widget that breaks, they get to sell us the replacement. There'll always be a grey market of hermits willing to risk some skin or reselling patched up tech, but the vast, vast majority of people will just click that purchase button. Assuming they don't have it on auto. Sarah should have pulled everything of note off the computer, but I've looked everywhere else already, might as well try. No, look at them! Oh, it's so weird being back here with Reyes instead of Sarah. Oh, I would love it if Reyes is like my tag-along for this part. That would be great. What are you expecting to find? Solitaire? Does this computer seem normal to you? Exceedingly so, yeah. Why? David was a programmer, but this looks consumer grade, fresh off the shelf. Would the Dr. David Ash use a bog-standard operating system on his most private hidden computer? There's a trash bin on the desktop. It's a pretty low-tech solution, but maybe I can restore the contents. Are you seriously going to try and recover lost files, Granny? Unlike cops, I don't get paid overtime, so yes, I sometimes try things instead of standing around. There's a text file in here, but it's 0 bytes? Maybe there's information in the metadata. Shh, I double-clicked. What was that? Came from under the desk. A small drawer popped out, and inside it... Sorry. Oh god, I didn't mean to click. So, the trigger for opening a hidden drawer under his desk was double-clicking a 0-byte file in his recycling bin. I mean, granted, not many people would do that, but that is a bizarre thing to have as your trigger. I suppose that's the point. You know, they say that the best hiding spots are ones that are easily accessible but also secure and hidden. So this would very nicely be that. A well-worn journal. Does it have his name on it? No. Guess it belongs to the android. Do you recognise his handwriting or not? Neat, even words, small lettering with minimal punctuation. Lots of line breaks, haphazard use of capitalisation. The penmanship of a coder! Ha! First entry's dated back in grad school before he even started with Noble. Yeah, it's his. So may I? Only because you asked so politely. Full scan, stream it to WorkNet. High fidelity, sorry, eyes messing up my ability to speak. High fidelity legibility, frame by frame. Voice commands? She's flipping through the pages pretty damn fast. What are you... This part takes concentration. She's so cool. Okay, here. What, you're just giving it to me? I already got our copy. Techs are probably already analysing as we... Oh, shit! My head! Can't exactly rip the journal out of her hands while she's curled over in agony. As much as I'd enjoy it. Guess I could always enjoy watching her writhe instead. So, how long's it been? 2 months or so? And still that sensitive, so the eye patch really doesn't block your sight. Only a little bit, like wearing sunglasses after getting your pupils dilated. Except it lasts months instead of hours. Wait, so if you can see through the eye patch, then does closing your eye even do anything? Not much on its own, but in combination with the patch, it's not so bad. Lucky I was so exhausted after the surgery, otherwise I might not have slept at all those first 48. So is your eye ever going to get weaker over time? No, more like my brain gets better at ignoring it. Mind over matter. Soon enough I'll be able to close my eye and see all the extraneous data as, you know, whatever the hell those floaty blurry things are that you never think about. Gross. Thanks for the reminder. And the voice commands? Training wheels until I can do it with eye muscles alone. You just have to keep practicing? Yeah, like trying to play piano with your tailbone muscles. There's no such thing as tailbone muscles. Yeah, well, that's what makes it so goddamn hard. You don't ever regret it? I don't know, not really, I think. Hard to admit you've got buyer's remorse after trading your literal pound of flesh. Never thought about it, but people used to say I had my dad's eyes. Ow. Oh, Reyes, I love her. Oh, God, this moment is so great, humanising her. Ow. Now I've got one less of them. Oh, Reyes. Here, take the journal, and go find an elective surgeon to upsell you if you're that curious. I need to get back to work. A surprisingly hasty retreat. Oh yeah, she opened up to you. She doesn't particularly like you, but now I'm free to read this over with some privacy. From the top then. No, the sit down. From the top then. Grad school. Today was a bad day. Errors in lines 21,165 to 26,643. Somewhere in there. 5,000 lines. It worked yesterday. I don't want to look at another screen for the rest of my life. Feels nice to put pencil to paper again after who knows how long, but my handwriting's gotten terrible. This is too far back to be relevant. Okay, these dates here would be from when he started his career with Noble. So somewhere in this, we're going to find enough of a hint that his connection with Jung isn't as genuine and wholesome as she portrayed it. We might even find, as we are at the beginning of his career with Noble, we might find something about that night that she reminisced on and get a different perspective on it. That'd be cool. A lot of this isn't even really writing. Seems like snippets of code or an internal monologue so close to code that I can't follow it. And a lot of entries about his unintentional Casanova-ing. Hit a wall because someone thought it was a good idea to steal API instead of just buying it. Helen says I can't call it stealing, but that's what it is. She's right, as she always is with company stuff. But it's still idiotic. Small people with short sight who only know how to be cheap and have no idea how to be inventive. New route for the meshing issue, though. Good potential. Got approval from the big mean bastard who lives overseas. BMBLO, Bumblo. Helen says we'll have to make the same picture a dozen more times next week. Okay, so this isn't so much a different perspective on that, it's just working off it next week, but it's all for show. Fine by me, we already got our win. Toasted each other over cheap vodka with cheaper office supply cups. This is the story Young told me. Western Branch's nerve analogues are finally showing potential. At their pace, it could even be profitable sometime before the heat death of the universe. Too damn big, practically tentacles, should at least be hairs. A squid evolution could do their job better. Colette came in to work for what I thought was a late lunch date. I didn't know her voice could get that loud. People were staring. Red said she must have been upset for a long goddamn time to blow up that big. Red being me, presumably. Her texts were always sweet. I had no idea. Upset? Colette wrote man-whore in lipstick across your office door. Imagine if you'd actually been cheating on her instead of just being forgetful. The thing about Red is if you want to know what she's thinking, you have to stop paying attention. Ignore her body language and her posture and the words she's saying and the smirk on her lips. Ignore everything except her eyes. If you can do that, every now and then you'll catch a glimpse of how she's really feeling. Master this one weird trick and you too can tell when Morgan's really trying hard not to laugh at the word man-whore. It was funny. Sue me, you dead bastard. Wait, I know this date. I'm never driving anywhere again, never leaving home again. He was waiting outside the parking garage with a bottle. Couldn't smell anything, couldn't hear anything. Locked myself in my car and filed another report with another cop. It soaked into the seat, ruining it. I wanted to burn the whole car. I don't want to think about what it did to my clothes. I want to burn them too. I don't want to think about how long it was on my skin. I was in the shower so long I felt red and raw when I got out. I don't want to think about these stupid people and their small, cruel lives ever again. I want to be invisible. Red didn't ask why I wanted to spend the night. She didn't ask why I had clearly packed a bag big enough for a week. She's kind like that. Kind by omission. I don't have a kind bone in my body, but I can at least try to pay attention. I was paying close attention to her eyes when she opened the door and saw what a mess I was. This is interesting. I don't have a kind bone in my body, but I can at least try to pay attention. How did he get from that to ignoring Isaac? But whatever she was feeling, it wasn't something I recognised. Kind people don't read their friends' diaries, David. The next chunk of pages are all technical. So what was that? I'm never driving anywhere again. He was waiting outside with a bottle. Locked myself in and filed. So this was presumably a stalker. And, you know, he wet the seat, presumably. Probably among other things. Maybe? A bottle. Is that throwing something at him? Like spraying something? Covering him in something? Yeah, interesting. Next chunk of pages are all technical, nothing biographical. But the handwriting, the spacing, it's cleaner, more consistent. Here's something I can pass. Feels like pure freedom working outside the box. Tess is suffocating, but you'd never know. Chronic malnutrition of a coder's best instincts. Like a kid again, putting blocks together. Making things. Making things, not products. There's nothing profitable about any of this. If I'm being honest, this is just play. And he follows that up with more coder brain crap. But the handwriting's still lighter. Like he really was having fun. Humility is the mother of all invention. Or something like that. Feels like it might be paraphrasing someone else poorly, but that's part of this new approach. When it comes to coding, you never want to waste time trying to be smart. Either be smart, period, or copy from someone else who is. Speaking as someone who has never done any coding before literally the last few days when I've been doing HTML stuff for Far Waste, I sort of agree. Don't fix what isn't broken. Copying? Noble's rivals would never miss the chance to accuse them of intellectual theft. Did he plagiarize code for Animate 16? Feels like that wouldn't have gone undiscovered, so what is he talking about? Hold on, this page is bent slightly like it was being looked at recently. And the last person to read this diary will be Sarah. Baby steps today, literally. No, look at her. Look at the little... Oh, no, not that one. That one, little Sarah. Baby steps today, literally. I'll never put one foot in front of the other the same again. Everything's an achievement all of a sudden. Seeing her struggle, seeing her vulnerable. It's like everything's a miracle. The muscle rigging is perfect. Not intended behaviour since it's too perfect, but that's been happening more and more. The kinetics are multiplicative, not additive. Sarah maxed out every machine I bought. Yeah, so I was right that he bought the stuff to test her, not for himself. Now I've got a bunch of exercise equipment she's too strong for and I don't have time for. Maybe I spoiled the results by watching her do the tests. She kept looking back at me and puffing her chest out. I should be more discreet if I want to see her normative range. So the cameras in the basement were only hidden from Sarah. Just so his observation wouldn't muddle test results. He's using she and her in these passages. Doesn't actually mean anything, but in the real world people use all kinds of pronouns interchangeably for ads and they never object. But it could be argued that it's odd for Dr. David Asher, to have any kind of attachment to a single android when he programmed millions of them. Has she still not clocked that he saw her as a daughter? Is this just a blind spot for her? And there's a lot of attachment in these pages. Sarah is burning through the public domain at a prodigious pace, especially on Popcorn Friday nights. I asked her why they're called Popcorn Friday nights, and when she doesn't eat popcorn, the event runs from 8 PM to 9 PM, and she also watches movies every other night. She just did that pout that she does, which is unfortunately very convincing. No! Maybe I'm a bad parent, letting TV rot her brain. If I were a good parent, I'd probably let her see me reading. But I guess I'd actually have to go back into reading, so... I asked her if she ever fast-forwarded the movies, since she can process them fast enough to keep up. She looked at me like I was an idiot, which no one's done in a long time. Without proper pacing, you can't appreciate the cinematography. Big pause. Don't you know that, Father? I haven't laughed that hard in a long time. Sarah spent a long while this morning explaining to me how important it was that she develop her senses. This was in preparation for her real argument, which was that she should be allowed to try booze. She can't get drunk, I'm almost certain she can't get drunk, but she does seem to like tasting the stuff. She tried to sound like some old sommelier, but it was just bottom shelf vodka. I started laughing at her and she laughed too. Her laugh, she can't fake a laugh to save her life, but her actual laugh is incredible. She stopped playing chess a while back. I assume she'd just gotten tired of winning. But then today she told me that she prefers other games. She has preferences and they're not the same as mine. I found her in the lab playing some kind of online racing game on the monitor I use to debug vestibular coordination. She wasn't smiling. Her brow was furrowed and she was biting her lip and leaning in tandem with her character on the screen. And when I tried to talk to her, she answered, but she was curt and distracted. I think she was having her first losing tantrum. Damn it, David, there's hundreds of pages like this. Calling her his daughter, talking about her smile, treating her like a person. I can hear her closing argument already. Dr. Asher was a lonely, troubled genius with a known history of relationship problems, who built out of code and metal a family member that couldn't fathom the idea of leaving him. He made a doll and made it more and more human until it was so lifelike it no longer had to do what he told it to. Like love him. What about the very last entry? Stated Thursday, the day before he died. Losing it, I think. Can't ask for help so hard. Can't ask for help so hard to say that it's... Can't ask for help so hard to say, but I think it's over. Have to talk to her ASAP. She needs to... Can't ask for help so hard to say, but I think it's over. I don't know what that means. That seems like an incomplete sentence. Have to talk to her ASAP, she needs to. That's either Morgan, she needs to take over with Sarah, or Young something. That's it? That's the last entry? I suppose it could be worse. There's nothing in here explicitly calls Sarah an AI. Nothing so inflammatory that reading it would spur her to murder, right? Except Sarah's a machine. She can understand David's code better than anyone. All those technical portions I couldn't understand if she read this whole diary front to back. Wait, the back? Inside the back cover there's a portion that's shimmering like some kind of scanner. Or a fingerprint reader. My thumb worked for Sarah, so did it work? That's my phone. New device requesting permissions to share an audio file. I'll want my earbuds for this. A secret message buried in a secret journal, hidden in a secret compartment in a secret room. As much as anything can be, this must be for my ears only.